What's up, everybody? I'm Frankie Biggz. Thank you for stopping by to my channel. If you guys have not yet, please like, subscribe, and put that notification bell on so you know the next time we drop one of these videos. Now, today, we are looking at SB19. This is the Ultimate Guide, Episode 7.
Pay very close attention.
Whoa. Episode 7. Now, if you guys have been following me in the channel, I am taking a deep dive into SB19. Why? Well, because I happen to love these guys. I love their story. My bias is definitely going to be Pablo. And my number 2 guy is going to be, is it Josh or?
Which one is it? I mean, which one is it?
I keep getting Estelle and Josh. There's a Josh, right?
Josh is your mom's bias.
Yeah.
And Stell is the one that can sing really, really high and like.
Yeah, I think it's just, I get them two definitely mixed up. But I want to say it was the one that kept the group together, and that would be Estelle.
Yes.
Estelle, yeah. But they're all amazing. Let's be honest. I mean, it's hard to even say that I have a bias, because at the end of the day, I just love everything that they do, and individually, they're just the shit. They definitely have come a long way. Their story is amazing and traumatic at the same time. Jeez, man, these guys have been through a lot of stuff. So let's get to it. Let's count it down. 1, 2, 3.
Pay very close attention to these clips.
Here we go.
This is SB19 at their most broken state. And there's one thing in common behind these emotional breakdowns. Family. In my years of supporting them, never have I ever seen them break down because of their critics and bashers. Except for this infamous interview. SB19 were called gay and accused of imitating K-pop.
I'm not bothered by the fact that you sound like a kid.
Tatang Robin rushed in to back them up. They were fine at first, smiling as they try to keep it together.
Yeah, this is the interview that pissed me off.
Nung una natin, offensive.
Until they can't.
Sino ba kayo? Kilala.
Ay, wow.
You can see tears in their eyes. They're trying to fight back as doubt starts creeping in. Then comes darkness in their eyes as if something inside just snapped. You see, even the toughest people can be broken. But throughout life, only one thing could put that look in a man's eyes. Vengeance.
That's right! Like, they're listening to the Avengers of the Philippines.
Pero para sa akin, yun yung masarap na-achieve eh. Yung mga bagay na imposible.
Ooh, I like this one.
Masarap kasi ito karamdam na yung mga basher yung dati, pinakain nila ngayon.
SB19 paved the way. You might be used to seeing this statement in the comment section of any SB19 related video, especially in response to those who doubt or downplay SB19's impact in the music industry. A chorus of fans will say this on repeat. Some find this repetition tiresome, annoying, even cult-like. But you know what? I'm one of those cult members, proclaiming this truth. It can't be overstated. If you understand how hard it was for SB19 to pave the way and blaze the trail, it's like being sent on an expedition into the unknown to achieve an insurmountable task, to put the Filipino music on the map. And if they won't be able to make it, at least they would have tried to leave their mark.
For those who come after, right?
While other entertainment companies are hesitant to send their artists to war,
I bet you the YouTube video that comes out afterwards is going to sound sick, and then it doesn't, and then our name's on something that's not sick.
Correct.
SB19 were thrown into the fire and gladly welcomed the challenge. They performed in malls no matter if many people ignored them. They also performed in schools, orphanages, elevator lobbies, birthday parties, and even on the streets. A tradition they continue to this day. And most of these performances, they did for free. But saying yes to every challenge comes with great risks. The kind of risk that could destroy their career before it even takes off. Back in early 2019, the boys were slated to perform as a side act at the fan meet of 2 visiting K-pop idols. SB19 were ready to go like it was just another performance night. After the main Korean act finished their intro number, they handed their mics to SB19 for the intermission. The show's host also handed off his mic. So Justin, Pablo, and Stel got their mics, while Josh and Ken were like, "What about us?" The host answered, "I'm sorry guys, but these 3 mics are all you got."
Oh,
This
come
happened
on,
in the last
man.
minute before SB19's performance. They had 2 options: play it safe by backing out, or go all in.
Go all
risking
in,
the
man.
possibility
Always.
of messing up their lines and choreography. There were only 3 mics for 5 guys.
What kind of
Half
bull
the
is
mix
that?
It's just stuff of legends.
Let's go. I know they killed it. Awesome.
And this is how they earned the respect of many fans. If the world was ending and it would take one ultimate performance to save it, I'm betting on SB19 because for me, they are the most clutch performers ever. I just know that they will never let me down because they always perform with a vengeance, like there's no tomorrow. And they have already proven this on world stages. After all, these 5 just have it. The guts paired with the ability to execute under heavy pressure, even if things don't go their way. Like their own company, turning on them.
Fans have recently observed alterations on their social media accounts and promotional materials, notably the
Yeah, we were
absence
getting
of the
into this
name
the last time.
SB19.
I
Yeah.
don't want to bore you with legal terms, so let me explain what happened in the simplest way. The boys' contract with Show BT had just expired and they had decided to opt out of renewing it to instead build their own company. In the midst of the Pagtatag World Tour, Show BT chose to hold the SB19 name hostage. They were suddenly not permitted to use the name they had nurtured and strengthened, throwing their immediate future into chaos. So they had to come to an arrangement that will allow them to use their name again through an amicable agreement, which I presume to be a ridiculous amount of money or a hefty cut from their income as SB19.
Probably
All
a
of this
cut
happened in the last quarter
forever.
of 2023. This was obviously a major setback to SB19's newly formed company, Onesie Entertainment. But remember how I described them as clutch performers? Turns out that they are also clutch when it comes to making major business decisions. Sorry to disappoint you, Show BT. You triggered my trap card. Solo projects.
All right.
Historically, when group members start going solo, it usually leads to the group's decline, even downfall or disbandment. But for SB19, their solo projects kept their previous company from pocketing free lunch money off of their labels,
okay.
mostly funding
I get
their
it.
baby Onesie. Not gonna lie, that is one hell of a genius way to exact vengeance. And boy oh boy how their solo careers flourished.
They probably had
Philip didn't
a
waste time as
percentage
he
during
released his Visayan
an amount of
language single
time, and that's why
Kanako
they
right in time
did
for
the
Christmas 2023.
interesting.
Right.
Followed by Justin's first solo release, his International Caliber Sunday Morning cover in January 2024.
Oh wow!
And then a month later, he took us to a different world with Surreal.
You're gonna have to review all this, Frankie.
A couple of
Absolutely.
months after, Philip was still on his path to vengeance with Fake Faces. Then in June, Stel dropped his Room EP, which made most of his fans jealous of this girl.
Orale.
In
Go
July,
ahead.
this other girl annoyed the heck out of everyone in Justin's Kaibigan music video.
Natatakot ako baka may magbago.
Philip, as usual, stayed vengeful when he released his Seven Sins album.
Man, those productions are
Then come
awesome.
September, Josh decided it's his turn with his gritty Lost and Found album. And finally followed by Pablo's double album Alon, Adlaon.
All
I'm
right.
telling you, their individual talents leveled up like crazy in their solo era.
2026, we're doing that.
Justin's
we're doing
world
the
building, Philip's
The solos?
unapologetic
Yeah, the
creativity,
album reviews.
Stel's aura farming, Josh's storytelling, and Pablo's pen game were the major highlights for me. And this only strengthened their fan base, who got more invested as they found out more about how strong each member truly is. And because of these solo projects, it became a very productive year for 1Z. But for ShowBT, not so much.
right because they
the
have
boys didn't release
anything
much as a group,
for
just a few
SB19.
collabs from here and there. SB19 recently got him on a checkmate with vengeance. Very frustrating for ShowBT. So much so that they decided to abandon the trademark that same year, which allowed 1Z to register it.
All
under
right,
them. And as of
good
December
job.
27, 2024, the name SB19 and its trademark finally belonged to its rightful owner.
Beautiful.
The major setback was finally over. And because of this, I can't help but feel that SB19 is somehow protected from bad things by some greater force we don't fully understand. Don't you agree? In movies, you could call it plot armor. Or in life, it's what some may call karma.
Karma.
Remember these journalists in the intro?
You're not bothered by the fact that you sound like a Korean.
The guy who accused SB19 of imitating K-pop is this guy.
Thank you naman for inviting me again to your show.
He was a feared entertainment columnist known for his brutally candid and irrelevant questions to artists. Just a month after SB19's Go Up press conference,
Whoops.
he passed away. The one who questioned Stel's gender is this guy. The same guy who asked this question to Beyond Zero.
Ano ang meron kayo, ang Beyond Zero, na wala sa SB19?
As we all know, SB19 has the K-pop influence, the Korean influence. But we, Beyond Zero, came from the dance community at first hand. And kami, we have that hip-hop influence and we're very proud of that. And we really think na yung pagiging part namin ng hip-hop community, yun yung magbibigay sa amin ng edge to go global. As all of you know that we are actually TikTokers before all of this happened.
And the same guy who said this to Callista.
Kinabok nyo rin ang launching ng SB19. Sana lang sa dulo, mas mataas pa rin kayo sa SB19.
We gotta be a hater, dude.
He's still active to this day on his Facebook page with 32K followers.
His name on your mouth. Their name on your mouth. Why?
Yeah, because
people
it's
seem to
fear.
care anymore.
Exactly.
But what about Beyond Zero? Honestly, I don't know. All of the members disappeared except for their leader, who is now happily performing as a drag queen. What about Callista? Well, they're still active, down to 4 members from the original 6. They're doing okay, having just released their latest song, which they even did a TikTok with Stel and Justin. Now I'm sure you recognize these folks. Instead of supporting their fellow countrymen, they resorted to mocking SB19's appearance and branding them as K-pop copycats. Because of the backlash they received, they deleted
Bye-bye
the video
now.
without any apology and moved on as if nothing had happened. Then just a few months ago, one of them did something quite surprising. Renz Verano performed SB19's Go Up. The same exact song they criticized 5 years ago. Now who's the real copycat?
Right.
Just trying to be an asshole.
Bashers are these brothers.
K-pop. Lima pala sila. K-pop pangit.
Their reaction video gained a lot of views, but all for the wrong reasons. So where are they now? I don't know what happened to one brother, but the main owner of the channel remains active on YouTube. He changed his channel's name and now vlogs about his life as a person with disability.
Why would
you got a lot of room to
Why
talk shit,
exactly?
dog.
Why would somebody like that attack another person?
Now I didn't put him in this video to say, boo-hoo, he deserves it. He's included because I owe the community an update. and I strongly discourage going to his channel to get back at him. Instead, please show him some love because I think he's now a changed man.
Ang taong naninira sa kapwa ay siyang kaawa-awa.
Says you, huh?
Tanggalin ang inggit.
No, well, exactly.
Yeah, did you ever apologize to SB19? This is really good.
There are many more people who criticized SB19 before, then fell off after a while. Others started as doubters and made a sudden turnaround to become SB19 fans after receiving some backlash. Whether they are genuine or not, it's all up to you. But I've decided to not cover them in detail as I didn't want this video to become unnecessarily long. So going back, SB19 started 2025 with their name under their full control. So they didn't waste any time and dropped the trailer of their finale EP Simula at Wakas on January 31st.
Okay,
and
so we're getting closer to this day.
I don't think any artist has done anything like it because they managed to seamlessly put together the biggest songs in one epic soundtrack, matching it with amazing visuals full of Easter eggs.
Nah.
Everybody was just left in awe as the trailer gave us an unbearable sense of anticipation of what's to come. And it didn't help when they announced that we had to wait for a month for the first song. So patiently...
It never ceases to amaze me, as happy as I am to know about SB19. At the same time, watching some of this and how these guys... and what they've gone through, it really pisses me off a lot too. And I guess maybe that's just because I can identify with them in their struggle. You know, and it's not easy when, you know, you're good at something that just comes naturally, that the good Lord has given you this talent. And he says, if I give you this talent, I don't give it to you as a hobby. It's something that you go out and you make it you know. And it's so many words and in so many ways and interpretations. Basically, I gave you this talent to go out there and feed yourself, I guess is a way to put it. But, you know, look, you know when you are doing something right, when everybody makes fun of you, when everybody starts to tell you that you're wrong for doing it. Because the truth is if what you were doing was wrong and it wasn't good, really people have the opposite effect. I'm not saying you wouldn't get any haters, but they wouldn't be barking as loud as they do when you're winning. They would just go, oh, they would pacify you, go, oh yeah, that's good, you know. And that's how you know that you have a hit. You know you are a hit, or you know that you have a hit when people try to destroy that hit. Or another way that you know that you're doing well is when people say, oh, how would I say this? Like, oh, yeah, that's really cool. But you know what you should do? You should do this, or you should add this, or you should do, you know, they start telling you what you should do. When you've already made something of yourself, you've already doing it. You're out there doing it. Your method is tried and true, and it's happening, right? Now that it's happening, now people want to jump aboard and say, well, you know, that's really cool, but you should do this. And the other thing is, the other way that you know that you have a hit, those are the two ways. The third way would be when, how do I word this? It would be when you present an idea to somebody and they absolutely say nothing. They just go, oh. And that's it. They don't give you any emotion. They just kind of, you know, in a way, like in an unspoken way saying, that ain't shit. I mean, yeah, that's, you know, that ain't really nothing. And so at that point, man, that's when you keep going, but that's when the struggle is going to be worse. We'll talk more. I actually have a story about such a thing, but I'll wait until the end. Let's keep it going.
Patiently, we waited. Then, SB19 solo projects from last year started paying off as each member racked up award after award. There were so many awards that mentioning all of them here will make this video super long. Now, talking about awards made me remember these two pricks because they cried over Josh winning the Hip Hop Song of the Year from Wish. This guy at top posted a video acting like a self-proclaimed spokesperson of the hip hop community.
I love that.
Ay, hindi rin namin alam, boss. Hindi rin namin alam. Puta kami. Kung gulat na gulat ka, mas gulat na gulat din kami. Hip-hop Song of the Year, boss. Ay na, kahit yung lupay-pay ni Haring Mangi, silat ka dun, boss eh. Hindi rin namin alam, boss. Huwag mo sa amin itanong.
While Abra dissed Josh and SB19 in a song that he hoped would be his comeback to glory.
Carbon copy ng K-pop, fake fuck. Nagpaparinig pa sa'yo na nanahimik. Say what? Dapat saan pinapakitaan ng tunay na rap. ASAP, ang lakas mag-angas nitong bagitong naka-make up.
Pablo revealed in an interview that he advised Josh not to engage in a counter diss because he's planning something, which we will get back to later. But 18 didn't just stand around in silence. They responded with a vengeance by dropping their own diss tracks to defend SB19.
Ipapaka mo, habarket kwapo, disintonado. Hindi na pwede pumakapasok. Lakas mo lalo, ba't ka nandito? Mais na rapper, na magikero. Di kayang tumono, kuha ng koro sa bawat obra. Lakas mabongos, tagal di bumatil o that's suspicious.
So the aftermath of all this was that To's Facebook page.
Oh, what happened,
Abra's
King?
listeners count stayed at mediocre levels. On February 28th, the dam broke. Easily,
Yes!
hands down, the best music video that came out of the Philippines because of its grand and epic
And that was the
scale.
first
You could tell
video
the
that
making
I've
of the music
seen.
video
Yes.
wasn't cheap. They just nailed everything. The characters, the costumes, the setting, the story, the music. Man, the music.
Yeah.
It was so unique that you would never think of hearing it anywhere else. The clever use of Filipino traditional instruments also made it stand out as a masterpiece. But my most favorite thing about the song is the lyrics. Like, who the heck talks about self-accountability and the less desirable things like temptation and greed? Pablo's writing is just second to none.
Absolutely.
The music video racked up 1 million views in 10 hours.
Oh my
And after
God.
24 hours, it quadrupled that amount. The view count of the MV kept rising to the point of it becoming #1 trending in the country. And SB19 weren't done.
Thank you, Jackie, for suggesting SB19.
I have to
Absolutely,
give these
man.
two clowns some credit that they deserve. Because thanks to them, we got Dunka. If Pablo describes themselves as Avengers, then this music video is their version of the iconic scene in Endgame. Just look at the amount of relevant celebrities in this
Now
video.
I understand.
It is also rumored
So they were
most
making
of these
fun of
celebrities
the rapper
showed up
guy.
for free. What I love about the music video is that it exuded so much Filipino pride with so many cultural references. I appreciate the fact that they are fighting for artistic freedom, the same exact thing that I am fighting for. But my favorite part of the music video is when Pablo finally executed that plan to exact vengeance.
Oompa Loompa.
Another music video that dropped the same day was
What happened to the cat? Poor girl.
Nobody was ready for this because the lyrics of the song and the story of the music video did such a phenomenal job in emphasizing how brutal time could be when taken for granted. It also made us realize what truly matters in this life. It was very sad, but at the same time, thought-provoking. It changed our perspective, and to some, it was even life-changing. I literally have a friend who came home from overseas to her family to retire early after watching the music video to spend
Aww.
time with them. Not many artists have that ability to impact lives, and SB19 are one of those few artists. And another reason why they made such an impact with this song is because they also had a taste of how brutal time could be.
Broke my heart kasi until high school, diba, katabi ako tabi na sa gitna ako ng lolo sa akin. Sobrang kanabi yung regrets. Kasi noong time na naging medyo successful na ako na medyo tubo ako sa kanya. Actually, hindi pa ako nakakulog. Sinabi ko sa kanya na bakit gusto kong gawin yung mga bagay na hindi ko nagawa sa'yo dati kasi pero parang ayun, feeling ko late na.
Now I'm running out of ideas how to transition from this song, so I'll just do this.
That was cool.
This song would easily be their title track and no one would even complain. The swag in the chorus just makes you feel like some invincible badass. But if you like rock, here comes Philip's Quit. This song embraces individuality and staying true to oneself in the art they produce, which is one of the key reasons why SB19 have stayed relevant and authentic throughout these years. They are not only aiming for the top, but they are shooting for the stars. This song conveys a message about striving for one's dreams and goals, highlighting perseverance and the power of believing to oneself. That song also communicates that the people who support them will share the same success they'll get as we hop up on their rocket. So to wrap it all up, SB19 Simula at Wakas EP was an epic comeback. All tracks charted everywhere in the world, racking up millions upon millions of streams, a fitting vengeance to their haters. So
That's
what did we learn
good.
from all this? For me, I learned that there is a healthy way to take a path of
Yep.
vengeance. SB19 showed us that they are capable of fighting back when backed against the wall. They also proved how great of a tactician they are by picking their battles and knowing the perfect time to strike back. And I also learned how powerful 18 is, because every time SB19 gets attacked, we were always ready to clap back with a vengeance. And the rest of the obstacles that might derail SB19's path to greatness, well, let's just say that karma will do its work. And for the haters who still say that SB19 did not pave the way,
Y'all
this
suck.
message is for you.
It is a profound honor to stand before you today to celebrate a group that has not only captured the hearts of millions, but has elevated Filipino pride on the global stage. SB19. Just as the Velarde map once guided explorers to new frontiers, SB19's music and dedication serve as a beacon for the next generation, lighting the way toward endless possibilities. SB19, you are more than just artists. You are modern-day navigators, charting a path for the future of P-pop. This commemorative map, a testament to our history, symbolizes the courage to embark new journeys, where Filipino pride, resilience, and ingenuity shine brightly for the world to see.
Yes, binigay po sa amin kanina ang Murillo Velarde 1734 map is more than just a map dahil naniniwala po kami na ito po ay simbolo ng ating nakaraan at patunay ng ating kasalukuyan at gabay sa ating kinabukasan. Dahil po dito, patuloy na hinihikayat namin ang bawat artistang Pilipino na yakapin ang ating kultura at karanasan dahil ang bawat obra ay nagiging bahagi ng makasaysayang mapa nagagabay sa susunod na henerasyon.
More than a historical document, this map represents a profound truth.
that our identity as Filipinos is embedded not just in our culture, but in every piece of land and water that we continue to honor and protect.
Our responsibility and hope goes beyond resilience. It lies in understanding our roots, embracing our identity, and acting with genuine love for our nation.
Ang karangalang ito, ang paalalang ito at ang tungkuling ito ay hindi lang para po sa amin. Para ito sa bawat Pilipino dito man sa Pilipinas o sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. We promise to honor this responsibility, serving as a bridge between our rich history and the modern Filipino spirit.
Congratulations, SB19. Thank you for being our modern-day map makers, guiding us toward a brighter future for Filipino music and culture. May you continue to go up, shine brightly like the stars, proving that no challenge is too great for those who dare to dream.
Wow, what is this coming out of my eyes? Jeez. Got this strange liquid coming out of my eyes. It's going to be hard doing Mappa. I'm going to tell you that right now. Do I got a line in my head?
A line?
Yeah, from my hat.
No.
Well, this was a hard one to watch. Halfway through it, this strange liquid started coming out of my eyes. I started feeling some kind of way. I'm emotional because one, it's gonna be hard doing Mappa with my mom. And I know you guys want me to do that, and I'm gonna, but I'm just gonna warn you up front that more than likely, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep it together. One. Two, part of this is the fact that seeing him win is enough to make somebody tear up, but also everything they went through was some straight bullshit, man. You know? And I just think, like, wow, fuck all you guys. You know what I mean? Like, all you naysayers don't realize how, for people like us who are just expressing ourselves, just like somebody I'm sure is gonna jump and be, look at it, he's crying, what a pussy, or whatever. Say what you're gonna say. I don't think it's a bad thing for a man to cry, number one. So, but it's just the, how do I say it? It's the drive, because no one, imagine walking with people on your back or walking with lead shoes. You know what I mean? It's like, so in my perspective of it, it's like, here's all this talent, here's these opportunities, here's all this for you. By the way, here's some lead shoes. All you got to do is walk to it. But you got to do it with lead shoes. And you got to do it with people on your back. And it's like, the closer that you get to that goal, the harder, the bigger the shoes become, the heavier the people become. And these guys did it, man. These guys went out there and killed it. And I am so proud, because my small story is like this. This is how I relate to these guys. If you guys go into my Wikipedia, you guys will see that at one point in the 90s, I went down to San Antonio, Texas, and I was in that little industry down there called the Tejano industry. And the one thing that destroyed me was the fact that I went into that industry, although I'm a Native American, I'm Mexican. Mexican native is what I am. And in Texas, those are my people. You know what I'm saying? That's where my family is at. Although my dad was between Texas and Los Angeles. My mom was in Texas, although she was born in Toledo, Ohio, but her family, I mean, Texas has always been a part of us. When I went down to Texas with my talent, down there to work with these Tejano people and these Mexican people there, they didn't accept me. They made fun of me. They bullied me. They didn't like anything that I was doing. One, because I was a really good drummer. Two, because I was a producer and I was taking that traditional music and kind of twisting it and giving it kind of an R&B pop feel to it, which is where it is now. My vision, our vision back then was to be progressive in that industry, just like these guys. But the acceptance wasn't there. And I got made fun of a lot to the point that I just left. I gave up because I just couldn't take it anymore. They would call me coconut, which means brown on the outside, white on the inside. I didn't speak Spanish like them. You know what I mean? So that was another thing. You know, how could you be Mexican and you don't speak Spanish? And, you know, it was just crazy. And I just got dissed a lot. However, in the end, I still had a hit record down there that I helped write with another co-writer. We still were doing well in that industry, but there just came a point when I gave up. I just said, man, fuck Tejano music, man. Forget it. You know, as much as I love it, as much as it's a part of me, and I grew up listening to that kind of music, it's cultural music, I wanted to be part of it. And those people made my life hell down there. Hell. Hell. And I mean hell. The amount of scrutiny, the amount of shit talking behind my back, the amount of betrayal that I went through in that industry just made me stop. That was it. I was done, man. I went back with my head down back to Michigan and, you know, started all over again. But what never left me was the hip hop. What never left me was the pop and R&B. That's where I my heart was. And I felt like God just said, you don't belong there in Texas, man. Get out of there. Those people don't like you, and you don't fit with them. You're not like them, and they'll never accept you, not ever. And they never, never, never did. Never to this day. I you know, a lot of people know me in that industry, and I've had people go down there and people, hey, where's Frankie? Where's Frankie? Like big people in the industry, you know. But at the same time, you know, they'll ask other people about me, but they don't come to me directly. So to me, I just kind of, I gave up. And it kind of reminds me of SB19. This is why I identify with them so much, was because they didn't give up. Well, they did give up at one point. But Stell was the one who really got them back together, and they kept moving forward. My Stell story would have been me going back to Michigan and getting back in, and look what happened. I did it. I did it, and I did it on my terms, just like they did it on their terms. And so watching them win and watching all these people that took shots at them, where are those people now? And then watching them get a place on a map. I mean, talk about, it's one thing to put the Philippines on the map like they did. It's another thing for the Philippines to put you on the map. And that to me is the ultimate. And it just, I don't know, makes me emotional. Now, long story short, told you I was going to tell you a story. There was a point when I was working in Detroit at this recording studio. I'll make this quick. And I was in there doing my thing. And all of a sudden, I seen on the other side of the door, which had this glass, but you couldn't really see. You could just see if somebody was standing outside of it. I saw this hair and this person standing on the other side of the door. And it was a woman. I'm like, wow, I wonder who that is, you know? And all of a sudden, you know, I was just doing my thing, and I'm rocking out in that studio, and all of a sudden I hear knocking on the door. And so I'm like, all right, now this person, so I opened the door, and who was standing in front of me? The Vanessa Williams. I don't know if you guys know who Vanessa Williams is. If you guys can go ahead and look it up. But back in the 80s, she was Miss America, and then she went on to become a very famous singer. At the time that this was happening, I think I was between 15, 16, maybe 14 years old. I was in between 14 and 16. And she had just put out a record called The Right Stuff. She was working on that record, The Right Stuff. And I knew who she was just by her face, that I was like, I don't know why I know this person. And I opened the door and she goes, "Oh my God, is that you doing that?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "How old are you?" And I was like, I think I was 14, 15 years old or whatever. And she goes, "That's incredible. Do you mind if I come in and just listen?" And it was just a little room. You know what I mean? There was enough room for maybe 2 people in there, right? So I said, "Sure." I mean, I'm not going to say no to this beautiful woman. And at that point, I knew that I knew her face, but I didn't know her name at that point. Didn't know. And finally, she sits down and I said, "Well, I'm just working on some new jack swing, like this, showing my age." And she goes, "By the way, I'm Vanessa Williams." And I'm like, "Oh my God." I said, "Well, I'm Frankie. Nice to meet you." And she's like, blah, blah. She started asking me questions, and then I started working. She stayed in there for about 20 minutes, man, just listening to my music. And all of a sudden, the thing was that she was recording in a bigger studio down in the same studio. But she wasn't in her session. She's in mine now. And I don't care. It's just me. Now it's just me and her. Me and Vanessa Williams in the same studio. And pretty soon the engineer came out and her producer came out. They all kind of came out looking for her. And they, I see more people knocking on the door. And so I opened it and all her people are like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm hanging out with this guy." She's play for him. What, play. So I played the track and everybody's listening. They're like, "Wow, you did that?" I said, "Yeah, man, And all of a sudden, one of these people says, "Yeah, man, you know what? That's good, but you should really change the snare drum. You should do this, and you should do that, blah, blah, blah." And it was getting, like, play it again. So then I played. "You should use a real bass." This person started to suggest to me things about my music. And it turned her off completely because she goes, "You know what? I think you just keep doing what you do. Don't listen to what anybody else is telling you. You just keep doing it. I think you're great, and I think that you're super talented, and you're going to go a long way." And I'm like, "Thank you very much." And she looked at that person that was telling that to me and was like, and they're like, "Well, we got to go back." She goes, "I'm really sorry. I got to go back to my session." I said, "It's okay." I said, "It was nice meeting you, And we didn't have cell phones back then, peeps. So there was no, "Can I take a selfie?" None of that. There's either you had a camera on you and you traveled with a camera, or you did not. And most people did not. So she went into her studio. Later on that night, the owner of the studio started talking to me and my brother like he normally did. And he told me that story. He said, "You know how you have a hit is when everybody tries to change it. And what happened today was some bullshit, but at the same time, it's a teachable moment for you. When people hate on you for what you're doing, or they come in and try to change it, all that it means is that what you're doing is the right thing. You're doing the right thing." And so that's it. That's my story. I have a lot of little stories like that with some famous people. Maybe someday I'll make a movie or I'll write a book about it, because between me and my wife, you guys have no idea the stories that we have with other celebrities and just moments that were great moments and then horrible moments. To be quite honest with you, more horrible moments than good ones, but the good ones definitely outshine those. So with that said, and in conclusion, because I could keep going on, I love this. I love SB19. I wasn't bullshitting when I said I'd love to, play the drums for those guys or produce them. I mean, will that ever happen? Who knows, man? I mean, after I said that, I realized that, there's other bigger producers and people that want to work with them and have offered their services to them. And who am I? at that point. You know what I mean?
Put it out in the universe, you know? That's what they do.
We put it out in the universe, and hopefully maybe Pablo, you know, says, hey, I'm interested, and who knows, that would be great, you know? But until then, if all that I'm ever going to be is just a spectator and an 18 and just watch them in their success, I'm totally fine with that. Totally. It's just the artist in me that just says, this is a hit, and I want to be part of it. You know what I mean? Now all of a sudden I become part of that little equation, but I do it with love, and I don't do it like they don't need to change anything. If anything, I would just be honored. But probably not going to happen, but that's cool. I'm good with that. I just want to
never say never. Never say never.
Never say never. Never say never, right? So, well, until then, guys, thank you for coming out. Mappa is going to be hard. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to cry. I'm pretty sure my mom's going to cry. And it's going to be an emotional thing. I'm sure we'll both try to get through it. And it'll be good to have you guys there when it happens, okay? All right. Talk to you guys later. Peace.